Our next speaker is a design student. Her mission is to make people feel more comfortable in their own skin.
She really lets her personality shine through. Please welcome the ever so kind Veera.
I've had too much bad sex in my life. And that might sound funny, but bad sex makes me feel bad. So why do I do that? When I was a teenager, I got really interested in sex, like most of us do. But in our family, we didn't really talk about sex. So I learned that sex is something you shouldn't talk about. So I started to look for information elsewhere. And what I found were women's magazines. Not porn, you were thinking about it. And when I was reading all of these articles about how to please your man and why women don't want as much sex as men, it started to feel like sex is not really for me. It's just something I need to give to make my man happy and the relationship happy. And when I was so focused on fulfilling these expectations, I forgot to listen to my partner. I was just assuming things about them, assuming what they like and what they need. So at the same time, I was trying to be the stereotype I had learned that I should be. And I was seeing my partner as a stereotype who I was trying to please. So there were just two stereotypes trying to have sex. But not the people. And that's what I call bad sex. Bad sex is when you don't really meet in person, but you're just trying to perform. And I realized that nobody had told me the concept of good sex. But luckily, I figured that out myself. And I think that good sex is two things. It's communication and knowing your preferences and your limits. So first, the communication. It's especially hard when you have learned that sex is something you shouldn't talk about. So I had to literally practice to say no and see what happens. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to continue. But I also had to practice to say yes and maybe. Yes, I'm interested in that. Maybe I would like to try that. And I feel that I should have same feeling after sex than after a good conversation. I don't think about what I was wearing or how did I look or what exact words I used. I just think about that I was really seen and I was really understood and that we were sharing a meaningful moment together. And that is beautiful. Then, knowing your preferences and your limits. What usually makes us feel bad is that we go over our own limits. We do something we don't want to do. In order not to do that, you have to know your limits first. And we have learned these expectations and stereotypes so well that we can be blind to see what we really want. So I started to ask myself questions. Which things I'm interested in? Which things feel scary? Why do I think that sex is synonym for penetration? Why have I believed that women don't want as much sex as men? Why some things feel wrong and weird, and some things feel right? So really, good sex is combining these two. So communicating your preferences and your limits to your partner. And the magic is there, that if you both know your limits and you communicate them, you won't make each other feel bad, because you won't let the other person to go over your limits. And I want you to remember one thing. It might sound obvious or self-evident, but it's important. Sex should always feel good. Groundbreaking, right? But it was for me. And when I realized it, I made a decision. I will never have bad sex again.